know it's a stake coming into tonight. Does that make this even more frustrating, or just more frustrating?
I didn't know what was at stake.
They were two games ahead of you guys in the standings. Obviously, they already won the season series, but now they're 3 games ahead, and you guys are, I think, 3 behind for 7th now.
I mean, now I know what's at stake, what was at stake, but I didn't switch anything up knowing that now.
Stephen A., your reaction, sir?
That's embarrassing. He should be ashamed of himself. And nobody else don't say it, I'm going to say it. That is inexcusable. You're a guard on this team. We know how much of a liability you are on the defensive side of the ball. They rely on your offense. You're not going to always have it. I get that. It's not about the points. It's not about the lack of offensive production in those 2 games. It's about the fact that you sat up there in front of a microphone with the cameras rolling and talking about you didn't know what was at stake. Knowing that the play-in, your position in the play-in tournament is at stake. Yes, LeBron's the leader. Yes, Anthony Davis is the star. But last time I checked with this team, they're 0-5 when D'Angelo Russell is not on the court. They're 3-7 when he's on the court and scores 10 points or less. You need this man. You need him all in. And what we're seeing there is a level of inconsistency that we saw in the playoffs, where he was AWOL, was an APB out. I called police in L.A. looking for him. Nobody could find his behind because he wouldn't show up against the Denver Nuggets. And to say something like that on national with the cameras rolling, it is shameful. It is shameful. You cannot make that mistake. You can't do it.
If we were going to be very, very nice, we would say at least he was honest. But you know what? You're right, Stephen A. Every game there's something at stake for this Laker team and this Warrior team. These 2 teams right behind us. Lakers have a 4% chance of getting out of the play-in, meaning they get to the 6th seed. What the Warriors is 1%.
Wow.
Every single game from here on out, something is at stake. So if they ask anybody after this game, do you know what's at stake? Yeah, all these games there's something at stake. But you know what? You said it a little more harsh, but you're right. You've got to understand.
I don't care what D'Angelo Russell says. I want to see him play. Stephen A. and I live in different worlds when it comes to what players are saying. We do. I want to see him play. The stat you mentioned is important. They need him on the court, and they need him more consistent. By the way, if you're not a top 3, an all-NBA player, 5, 10, or 15, chances are you're not going to be that consistent. You're not going to be a star every night. Now, we need to see D'Angelo Russell contribute. I don't care what he says after the game. That doesn't make me one way.
You might not care what he said, but what did he had 6 points.
Again, play.
And then he said that. Play. So altogether, he goes 30 points.
I want to see performance.
Well, he didn't do either.
It's irrelevant.
I can't believe I'm going to get on my man Mike Wilbon for being disingenuous, but I'm going to look into the camera and look at my man Tony.
I'm telling you right now.
I'm going to look for my man Tony Kornheiser for help with this. You know how many, long before he was sitting there breaking records and being exceptional on national television, Michael Wilbon was also exceptional with a column, all right, in the Washington Post. And you know what he used to do? He used to watch a performance, listen to what you said, and then turn around and say, that's why you played that way. But suddenly, that don't count.
Everybody's not the same, Stephen A. He's not Anthony Davis. He's not LeBron. The words aren't equal. So everything's not a big deal. Every single topic is not the end of the world.
I didn't say every single topic.
What you did, what we agree on,
okay,
he has got to perform in the way you said.
That's right.
I don't care what he says after the game.
But after the game, what he said, in my mind, contributes to why he possibly performed that way. That's the point.
I'm not making that connection.
If you're not cognizant of what the hell is going on, what position you're in, what's going to happen?
Do you mean what you're saying? You can't mean what you said a little bit.
Let me tell you something, Bob. If we looked and assessed what Anthony Davis or LeBron James said, if this was Draymond, Steph, or Clay, if this was Kevin Durant or Booker, sorry. So I'm not going to, it's not that relevant.
You can't average 22. You can't average 22 points.
Words and deeds,
22 points, 45% shoot from 3-point range. And you're going to tell me he going to sit up there and say, I had no position. I had no idea.
Let me see him play.
It don't matter. Come on, man.
Play. this is also coinciding with a couple of things. D'Angelo Russell has been very vocal over the last couple of games, talking about his communication lacking with Darvin Ham in last year's playoffs.
That matters.
Blaming other players for that. And so when you take all of that into consideration,
out of it. Not
knowing how much they need from D'Lo, I think is where Stephen A. is coming from, which is a compliment to D'Angelo. They need him to play like Stephen A. knows.
What's the over-under tonight for D'Angelo?
We'll find out in the break.